Hi, this is Randy Gray again. I want to give you a quick introduction to my next project. We'll go through it real quick and then we can get started. But let me mount this camera for a better angle and we'll get started. So as you can see, let's see, is that a good angle there? As you can see, I have this Remington 700. It's a BDL. It's been in very nice shape. It's not loaded. Good and clean. This was made probably 1976, 1978. I was trying to read the engravings on here, and it's so hard to make out what was there. But I know it's got to be somewhere in that time frame. No, it's got to be in the 70s somewhere. I believe it was given to me by my father, and this was back in 78 or 80, and he got it used. So amazingly, it's in great shape. But it is a 6.5mm Magnum. So it's a very flat shooting rifle, very fun to shoot. But it's too bad Remington does not make any factory loads anymore. You can see how old this box of cartridges is. But this is my last box. I have saved all the brass all these years, so I'm going to have to start reloading. But you can see the round. It's a short action Magnum shell. Very cool. So anybody out there, if you know 6.5mm Remington Magnum fans out there that has ammo or info on the brass or any reloading tips, because right now I have a set of dies. It's from Lee, I believe, but I don't have any reloading equipment, no press or anything yet, and so any suggestions on equipment, any experiences with your equipment, and or any experiences with your 6.5mm Remington Magnum, just I'd like to hear it. But so the project, I believe it's going to be with the stock. I know when I'll go ahead and take everything off. The scope I have on here, it's a Simmons scope. It's a 3x9 by 50, I guess, or the 44 Magnum line of scopes they had, and I got it quite a few years back. But I had it on another Remington 700 that I owned, and it was in a 30-06, and I had this Simmons scope on it. It was a great combination, great hunting rifle. I have no complaints with the scope. And the Remington, that 30-06, it was so accurate. I would get sub-MOAs at 100 yards, no problem. But for some reason, I sold it, and I regret it to this day. So one of these days, I'll probably find another one and use it for my hunting rifle, and then save this for either long shooting or at the range, or have some fun with. So when I take it all apart, I also noticed at the range it has a pretty sensitive trigger. I have not officially measured it yet. I'm predicting it's going to be 2 to 2.5 pound trigger at the most. I mean, it's very sensitive, and that's great for something out on the range. But for a hunting rifle, actually, I prefer a heavier trigger, because when your adrenaline's flowing, I guess it reduces the chances of unintentional fire, I guess. But Anyway, so I'm not going to play with the trigger. It's already set. Everything seems to be great. It's in fantastic shape, but when I took the stock off and inspected it, I noticed there's no pillar mounting, it hasn't been bedded, and you can see up here at the nose at the front of the stock, I've already tried to sand some of this down in this area. There used to be a pretty big protrusion there, and that's where the barrel was resting on it. So it definitely wasn't a free-floating barrel. I couldn't slide the dollar bill. I mean, I'd get it through this nose about so far, and that's it. I'd be able to slide it through this area, but it always got hung up there. And it's doing it now, even though I've, sanded this down slightly, and I can tell it's still raised a bit. It's smooth, but it's raised. So I still can't slide a dollar bill cleanly through there. So I've been debating on what to do. It's should I go ahead and pillar mount it and bed the entire stock and free float the barrel, or should I test it first? Sand this nose out a little more, put some spacers here so it'll free float the barrel, and see what happens, just to test it out. Go to the range and see how it performs after that. See if I can get the sub MOAs that I'm looking for. If so, then I can, I don't like putting shims on there and just leave them all the time. I don't mind using shims for testing, but it's not a permanent fix. So maybe I'll do that first, and then go back and make the permanent modifications after I'm sure that it will help. But that is the project in a nutshell. So the next videos will come in different parts as I do the modifications, and then take it out to the range and see what happens. So stay tuned, and I welcome any comments, and I look forward to it, and we'll see you then.